Instagram is a little bit disrespectful tonight.
Curtis, bro, tell me that live saved.
I think it's because it exceeded an hour.
Oh, did it say?
No, not well. Never for me. I go on
really?
hours all the time. Yeah.
Oh, I've never done a live before.
Yeah, Vanessa. I want Vanessa back in when she's there. What I was saying was, listen, I know we're building back up. What I was saying was, they have to consult. Oh, here she is. Let me bring her in out of respect like that.
Wait, Curtis, did that live release? Did it save?
Yeah, I saved it. I always save my live.
Oh, thank the Lord, man. Jeez.
Unless someone says something they shouldn't say. Yeah, I was saying, guys, thank you for joining back, people. Instagram disrespecting, you know. It doesn't matter who you are, where you feature in the system. Social workers or the highest level professionals have to consult with you and draw. If you're doing the direct work with someone, no matter what your age is, we have to ask you, what do you think?
Yeah.
And if we're not doing that, we don't care about you, and we're showing a blatant disrespect to you. So big up to you, whatever level you are in the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, last thing before we go on to the positives now, yeah? The encouragements. The paperwork.
Curtis, you have to go there, man.
Why would you even?
Why would you go there? Oh my gosh.
Why would you even do that?
I want students to come in knowing what it is. This is like, listen, reality check. Reality check. Let's talk about it. Let's let off some steam. This is a space for us to let off our steam as well. That's what this is
too
about.
much. I don't. It's too much. The paperwork is way too much. Flipping referrals, emails, case notes, care plans, court statements. It's too much.
Yeah, imagine trying to do CPRs, care plans, adoptions, SGOs, all of that. Do you know what I mean? It's horrendous, and they're not little 2-page documents. When you're QAing a statement, you're sitting there reading 50 pages. That's one. And
inside the CMOs, the emails from legal.
Don't even talk to me about legal.
The viability assessments. Oh, Nana, has this been done? Oh, the court is chasing. Oh, have you done this referral? It's like,
no, legal, just they're too much.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Jeez.
Too much. Yeah.
I'm not telling, like, it's too much, you know. Oh, can you do the referral? Do you know what? One social worker said, you know what? Why did you do the referral to legal? He got so angry. And then the solicitor said to me, Nana, your social worker's like rude. I said, look, but I can't. You know what I said earlier? When I came back from holiday, I went to Ghana Christmas. I came from holiday, I had about 500 emails. I
don't even read them all. Can't lie.
A 600 page court bundle. It's too much.
Do you know what? I can't even lie. I swear to you, I don't even read them emails because they're not even relevant anymore. So I will start from the last week, and then I move in. And if anything is important, they will resend it to me. I am not sitting there going through 600 emails. Hell no.
That's a good tip.
No, because by then, because can you imagine a normal day to day? Some people, it's an email trail.
Yes.
Oh, you know, this has happened, that's happened. It then becomes irrelevant.
Let's say you got back from a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
Like one week holiday. Can you clear 400-500 emails?
No, you can't.
No.
All right.
If I was to show you my inbox now, it's actually shameful.
yeah, but you're answering the emails that need to be answered, though.
That's right. And do you know what? Social work level, team manager level, service manager level, everything is about priority.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be sitting there replying to an email when they said, oh, I'm really concerned because, you know, the child tripped over at nursery. There's no injury, but he just fell over a Lego brick. Well, as a manager, why is that?
It's true.
I've had that every day this week.
From schools. Oh, the child, like every day, the child's not in. Okay, then the child in. Call the parent. Then the head teacher copies the social worker in, then emails the manager, then emails your man, and then it becomes a whole email channel. I don't want to.
But you know what that is? You know what that is? And I find it's a lot of other agencies, such as nurseries, schools, hospitals, that's them handing over.
Yeah.
Because what they want to do is pass on the responsibility to us.
Yeah.
So as far as they're concerned, we've reported, and now it's your responsibility to deal with it.
They're too codependent, and they don't manage risk well.
Absolutely.
They want us to manage risk. I think social workers, no, put it back on the school.
100%.
We can't.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
that's because
we can't call the parent. Excuse me. You can't
Yeah,
call
I
a
know.
parent.
Yeah,
Being
we've
a
had the
parent
same
every
thing.
day.
Parent. No,
Yeah.
you call the parent.
Yeah, yeah. And I've had a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
schools that have said, "Oh no, well we don't want to have that discussion with the parent because we have to see them every day." And so,
oh, so you want me to do it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, what about the social worker who has to go and do a section 47 and they've made a disclosure and
Yeah.
we're on their doorstep? We have to deal with it.
yeah.
Can you come and do a home visit with us? No, we can't because we don't upset the relationship. So why would you do a safeguarding? Sorry, let me not cuss now.
Don't.
No, I know. I feel like we're getting amped up again.
Because
Sorry.
if you do that, you might as well say the name.
No, let me keep quiet. It's calm, innit? Sorry, innit? Sorry. I ain't cussing.
No, it's cool.
Cool.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
there's not much paperwork in fostering.
Stop it.
No, that's not true. Your Form Fs. Oh my.
Yeah. That's how
We
Oh
did,
my.
Curtis and I spoke about it last time in my last live. Thank you for acknowledging that. Form Fs, right? For any of the new people that are not familiar with this live, Form Fs are basically a long ass assessment for mainstream applicants who want to be foster carers. And I'm telling you, I'm doing is it a Michael Aspel? This is your life. You know, we used to have that TV program with his red book.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
tell you about your life. That is what the Form F
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like.
yeah. It
And on
is.
average, they give you the turnaround time that they say is normally 6 months, but really and truly, they're lucky to have it turned around in 2 or 3 months. It is long. We have to dig into inner everything about you, your partners, your criminal history, your children, where you grew up, your parents, any drug addictions, just anything. So in that aspect, yes, there is lots of paperwork. But going back to what you're saying in terms of emails, where are we now? Wednesday. The last 2 days, besides attending meetings, I've been reading fostering logs. And I tell you why I have to prioritize that on some days, because I know that the children's social workers are very busy and they got to prioritize other stuff. So if they're not reading it, and if I choose not to read it, who's going to read it?
Yeah,
Nobody.
but you know what? Hats off to you, Vanessa, because a lot of them don't. They will send it over.
I
There's
know.
a lot of stuff that gets missed.
And let me tell you something, Side, that's not going to happen on my watch, you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you it's not. And this is why I have to prioritize. So there's some days, yes, I'm the person that's sorting out the foster carers' money. I'm sorting out that on one day. On another day, I'm attending a strategy meeting because of a child that the foster carer has in her or his care. The other day, I was talking to a child social worker who's doing a transition plan for a child to go back to the parents. And I had to have a one-to-one with them. She said a few things to me and I could have literally switched on her and I didn't. And I thought, no, it's not a time and a place. But I always remember my manager saying to me, Vanessa, if you've got issues, you can't just let it slide. You have to talk to them and let's deal with it. So after everybody went and I spoke to her and I said, listen, can we have one-to-one? She's like, yeah, of course. I said to her, for the 3 or 4 years, however it is now, that I've been qualified as a social worker, I said, I've never felt so distant from a children's team who are working for the same local authority. I've never felt so pushed out while you're saying to me that it's up to the that I don't need to attend a meeting. Excuse me, who are you? Who are you? I had to remind this social worker of my roles and responsibilities, because again, there's that stigma of what do we supervising social workers do in the fostering team. I had to remind her that when you guys are in your frontline team, not saying which team it was, when you lot are stressed, when social workers are coming and going, and therefore you're dealing with their work. Hi, I'm here. We could be co-working this a little bit. I could be helping you do certain things, you know. Yeah. But because you don't want to keep me informed about your care plan, about your transition plan for the child going home, the communication is stopping. You're even more stressed out, and there's no need to be. Like, come on now, let's be real. Like,
the thing is, what I was just going to say from that is that the outcome of most of the serious case reviews that are there is a lack of multi-agency working.
Yeah, it is.
You know? And
yeah, but what does that mean when we've just described what the job is?
It doesn't matter. For me, do you know what? One email, one time, involve everyone, and then continue. Yeah. Everyone just needs to respond to the same email.
Yeah. Working together to safeguard children.
That's right.
That's the
and that's how things are missed.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter to business, and that's how things get missed, and that's how children are missed. That one email could be you saving a child's life, but that one professional not involved may have key information you will need, and
Yeah.
that's how things slip through the net, you know.
Yeah.
We were talking about a serious learning lesson review today in our peer supervision, and I said, one of my managers commended me, because we rarely do this, and it goes back to what one of the viewers said about when they made a statement and said, I'm just a social work student. However, my job title is social worker.
Mm-hmm.
I said, out of this whole learning lesson review, I said, I'm actually quite proud of myself, because this is what I did. When one social worker came to me and told me about the worries, and because I knew there was a whole bag of us involved, and I had a feeling we weren't talking, I arranged that professionals meeting, and I got everybody to talk. And through that meeting, we realized that there was a whole load of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And my manager said, you know, well done for actually saying out loud that you were proud of a piece of work that you did, regardless of my title. I could have been like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not a manager. Yeah, but absolutely. No, again, I have to be accountable for the work that I'm doing for those foster carers that I'm supposed to be supporting.
Yeah, right.
It's true. Can I just say, there's a comment here that said there's too many people involved, therefore unable to work together and sing the same hymn. I actually completely disagree with that.
Same.
Whilst we're working around, the team is around the child, the social worker is the one making the decision about that child's care plan. It will be based off of the information from the professionals and the observations from the professionals and their discussions and interactions with the parents, etc., and the extended family. But it's down to the social worker to be making that recommendation, particularly if you're going to court, or you know, you're looking at a core group meeting, whatever the case may be. It is our care plan, and I think that needs to be clear. Sometimes other professionals will jump in with their 2 pence, like I did today, but you just have to remember that we're the ones making the decisions.
Yeah.
Let me assume here that with Florida, if we could rephrase what you're saying, and I think that you probably would rephrase in that, it can feel like there's too many people involved, but I think that at times we are slightly disjointed or overworking and not efficient enough. Yes, it looks like that. It looks like there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But what we should do as social workers, if I'm in a meeting, or if I'm in any type of, say, core group or network or family network or whatever it's going to be, it's about you taking charge of that and saying, well, I think that you should do this, and this is my opinion about this, because you are the center of all of that. And I'm guessing you're a social worker. If not, that's what we should be doing, so that it looks like it's more or less chaotic. Nana, you was going to say?
Yeah, but I was going to say, but the other side of it is that even though Florida mentioned there's too many people involved, the other side of it to that is that actually sometimes as social workers, sometimes we are actually alone, in the sense that the professionals actually are giving us too much work to do, and sometimes the core groups or your core group of professional network don't always operate in what they need to be doing. It's always the social worker should be doing.
Yeah.
The child plan or child in need plan, yes, it's our care plan, but there's other professionals involved who also
got to use them.
That's right.
They also have their own responsibilities.
Yeah.
Take charge. But I feel as though right now that professionals, what's safer for them is to, as you said, Sai, you know, like no, professionals don't want to hold risk or have any professional autonomy. But like, you know, some professionals will say, oh, the case should be on a CP plan, but it's only because it makes you feel safer. It's not for the child.
That's
you
right.
Like, you know, internally, if we say social workers to the rescue, you know, we all need to be managing the risk, because as you said, Si, when we go to court, ain't the professionals, it's us who go to court.
Where they're standing on the stand getting bullied by the legal reps, I'm telling you, it's not a fun experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to the person who asked about being newly qualified and saying, oh, you know, I'm a student, but everything we have to do is evidence-based. So actually, when we're standing there in court, you're not going to be saying, I think. You're going to be going off of the reports that you're getting from other professionals. Everything has to be evidence-based. So if your interaction...
Their intervention.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry to cut you.
No, no, no. You've said it.
Yeah, their interventions. What did we do? What did they do? This
Yeah.
person went to that program. They worked with this worker. They did this, and it has or hasn't worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we need to say we've done, because the courts are really going to hold us to account and say, what have you done?
Yeah.
If we're going to remove a child from the family, they're going to say, what have you done?
You have to exhaust every possible option
You've
before.
got to do that.
And I
And-
think that's what
yeah.
a lot of people don't understand. You know, either social workers are doing too much, we're removing everybody's children, or we're not doing enough. And I think, you know, when you get them apprehensive parents, and Nana, you'll probably experience it all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're going to take my children away," and
Yeah.
I literally explain it to them, and I say, first and foremost, because I will just keep it real with them, and I think a lot of parents appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money it costs to remove a child? Number one.
Yeah.
You have to talk to them like that.
Literally. But number two, do you know how much evidence I have to put to the court that you do not have good enough parenting capacity? And we have to go through a whole rigmarole because that nobody just gives your child away.
But
And
we keep going over this because we're going to start.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to start talking about it before we get to the tips. But what we have to do in court,
It's no
the
joke.
amount, you know something. I've got parents who if I've put in 6 hours of work, 3 of those hours have gone into explaining that we're not.
Yes.
So true.
Yeah, but
If I don't do that, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. But do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is as well? One thing about local authorities as well, because I don't know if you've all seen what the president has said. I don't know if you've all seen the public law working group in it, because obviously the president of the Family Law Division, he's released some new information in it about local authorities and how basically we're taking our time when it comes to care proceedings, you know, and that we need to be actually getting better at making decisions for children. I think as social workers, one thing we need to be doing is being a lot more transparent with families in terms of what the actual court process is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think many families feel that we can just go in and we just go and remove children away. I think a lot of families, but also the media, are very much misinformed.
Yes.
They don't really understand the policy and procedures that we have to also follow, and that if a case does go to court, it's under the jurisdiction of a judge. No social worker can ever walk into a family's home and remove a child from that house without the authority of a family court judge. It will never.
But also, Nana, even if you think about the basic terms, when you write a court report, what are two of the key factors? Mother's views, father's
views, exactly. And also, people need to understand as well is that the local authority has to meet the threshold test.
Yeah.
You know, Section 31 of the Children at Care Orders, it basically says it. It basically says the local authority has to meet the legal test.
Yeah.
Judge to grant an order. That judge has to look at our evidence and say, you know what, I'm satisfied that this child has suffered significant harm. I need to grant an order. If we don't meet the legal test for that, it's either the child stays home under a supervision order, or no order principle, or proceedings, you know, come out of proceedings. You know, as social workers, you know, local authorities, we got to be telling parents our processes, you know. And I also think we got to start using pre-proceedings a lot more. I think sometimes we're very quick to go straight into court. Yeah. And, you know, you get a supervision order. There's no point. Sometimes use pre-proceedings. Let the parent know, you know, we're thinking about going to court. We want to work with you.
And sometimes that shakes it up enough for them to do the work that they need to do.
PLO a lot more. Sometimes it doesn't work. It don't work. It's not good practice to do that.
Yeah, that's very true.
This is where we want to go. I just want to read some comments and then we're going to ask you for some tips. Get ready. Okay, they have to be positive. Okay. To teach people like me how to be a good social worker and not be a bad one. All right. Okay, let me just go through. Florida, I just want to commend you because you came back and reflected on the comment that you made. And if you're not a social worker already, you'll be a good social worker. And if you want to become a social worker, you'll be a great one because you can reflect. From the day you join as a student, you've got to be ready to challenge those other professionals. I agree.
Yeah.
Someone saying, 12 Vibe saying, I've seen too many judges laughing social workers out of court for lack of evidence there. We can't say it enough though. This is the presupposition of all parents. Yet the media, we're going to deal with this one day. This is going to be alive. Yet the media loved a story of how we should have removed the children. Yeah, we're going to deal with the media another day.
Yeah.
Should have removed the children, or you removed them too quickly. This is what I'm saying. There's no middle ground.
Or we didn't see through the disguise compliance.
And this is another
but
topic,
also,
disguise compliance is a whole new
but also the main thing that people need to understand, when children die, is this is the thing that people have to get right. Social workers are not in people's homes 24/7.
No.
So I've done home visits to see children at 8, 9, or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But I could go into work the next day and that child's died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if social workers are in the house 24/7, I'm telling you, serious case review would not exist.
Yeah.
It's non-existent. So yes, there's times whereby social workers we fail because we miss up on cues. But reality is the parents kill that child. It's child's in that parent's house. And we can see a child in the morning or in the evening, that child can still die. It's sad reality.
Yeah.
We prevent that unless we're in the home.
Can I ask you all a question? How many of you have encountered a child that you have worked with that has died?
I haven't had a child that's died, but I've had a young person stabbed caseload that I've worked. Yeah. So I had a young person stabbed at my caseload and he's alive. And I remember that day when that young person was stabbed, like, I got a flurry of calls from my director and everybody. Yeah, but the thing about that particular case that I worked with that young person is that I did everything. So I saw the young person in the community. I did everything that I could. Yeah. When you got stabbed, everyone's like, "Oh, Nana, he got stabbed. He got stabbed. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?" I said, "Calm. Go onto the case file." I went to go see him anyway. He's alive. Go onto the case file and see the work that I did. Yeah. It's not there. I literally put that. Sexual safeguarding concerns. I'm concerned potentially he could get stabbed. I actually said that. Yeah. It happened. You know, and I did everything to get some person in the community.
Do you know what that sounds like? And it's not a criticism to you at all. But you said go to the case file and check the case notes.
Who has the time to update it every day? But another problem.
But what it is, the case file got locked. But
because as soon as there's a serious incident, that file shut down.
I'm thorough, because I knew, I said, just have a look on file, and you can see the work that I've tried to do. Yeah. In front of for the
you have to think like that, because we cannot as social workers think that, you know, in those types of incidents, because I've had the same thing. In those types of incidents, you can't be thinking only as a human being, social worker. I've done my best. You've got to be thinking, what are they going to find that I haven't done?
Yeah, and that is what it is.
But at the same time, Curtis, though, I get what you're saying, that you have to have that. But as a social worker, if you know that you've done every single thing to the T, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that I agree.
Because there's always, I think in our job, regardless, there will be gaps anyway. But if you know you've tried everything, if you know you tried everything, if you know you were seeing that young person or tried, and it happened under your watch, yeah, it's going to be hurtful. Because I've known social workers whereby a child died under their caseload, but they did everything they could. See what I'm saying?
That's happened to me.
Got a question here now.
No, don't answer that question. Don't answer that. What? The last question?
Yeah, can a social kidnap?
No.
I mean, what's the last question?
This ain't no clickbait kind of question. We've dealt with this already. If you want to know, DM me and then we'll answer that question.
Can a social?
Yeah, leave that.
Anyway. Let me just go back, because I asked the question about whether
you did. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, asked whether you've had any children die on your caseload. No. So I have experienced many of my young people be stabbed. I've had ones that are perpetrators of serious injuries. The most significant one for me was a young person that I worked very closely with when I first qualified. So again, age gap was quite close. Worked with her for a number of years. She had a lot of issues. I'm not going to go into it because I can see there's some of my colleagues on there and they'll know who I'm talking about. But went over to Leaving Care Services, did not engage with the PA whatsoever. So I was completing the visits on their behalf because the only person she would engage with was myself. she would also call me out of hours. She was under the influence. Now, when I say someone was self-harming, I'm not talking about lacerations to the arm on a surface level. She was trying to slit her throat, all the rest of it. Now, I was the only person that she was able to turn to. There was nobody else. And this girl's history is horrendous. So anyway, managed to get her through. Service leaders were well aware that I was involved. It wasn't my remit, but this is the only way to keep her safe. She was in and out of being sectioning because of the alcohol abuse was horrendous. She was on every drug going, and the self-harm. It was awful. But she was the only one that would allow me to go and visit her in the hospital, whatever. Went on maternity leave. She's died. And you know, the guilt that came from that, where I was like, had I not been off, I know that wouldn't have happened. And that, and again, you know, child deaths, they're horrendous, and everyone blames the social worker, but literally I know if I was there and she could have. And the thing is, I was trying to hold a boundary because I was like, I don't want her to be calling me and I'm technically on maternity leave. You have to be boundaried also. I didn't want to blur them lines, but I thought if I was available, because she was calling my work phone and I just wouldn't answer. But yeah, so that guilt will forever stay with me. But yeah, that it's a lot to deal with when you get that, and then media attention on top of it, because it was in the media.
Yeah.
There's a reality check. I mean, students, hear this, right? Most of us are strong enough to deal with this. Some of us are built for this. Some of us need assistance, but most of us can deal with this if we get the right support. That is a really powerful reality check for what you might come into, because the truth is you might hit the ground on your first case, and that can happen.
Yeah.
No one is exempt from this type of experience and trauma. Yeah, I've had a young person, I was just waiting for him to die. He was stabbed so many times.
Yeah.
On different occasions. And I was just like, if there's a case file that I'm going to update the case notes, it's his one. But if there's a guy I'm going to try for, it's him. And you've put in as much work into him as your other 15 cases, you know.
Yeah.
I should be on my way home, but I'm going to look after this one. That's social work. Social work is out of hours. Social work is, you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
You get a case and it's like, oh, this person might be self-harming, or they're not. Here's a good one. They might not be coming to school. They've got like a 20-30% attendance. When you get in there, you find this graveyard of a life.
Yeah.
That is like, wow. And that's social work. And the thing is, before we get into the tips, we do it because we're looking for that. This is what I keep hearing. We're looking for, what keeps us going is that one success story out of 1,000.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But you know what's really sad? This young girl that passed away, she was trying to get a social work degree.
Oh.
She tried to get her life together. Yeah, like I said, I won't go into too much detail, but I can talk to you guys about it on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was really trying to get her life together. Really trying to get her life together.
And
she OD'd.
And this is just everyday people as well. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
In fact, on the back of that, let me ask you all. I want at least one tip, but give one each for now. We'll go around in the circle. And what's your number one tip for maintaining great social work?
I think
In the face of everything we discussed. Sorry, go on.
One that all of us have continuously said about being well boundaried.
Yeah.
In terms of our time, work-life balance, if that exists, if you can make that exist. Yeah, just being really fine with that. I'll just give you a quick example. I remember there was one time I answered my phone after 5, and then luckily for me, my manager with the mobile phone was still on. She goes, Vanessa, why did you answer your phone after 5? That 5 o'clock telephone call took me till 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That was a good lesson learned. Turn off your phone.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah,
because the second you respond to it, you got to deal with it.
you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my one tip.
All right. Anyone else? No.
I
Oh no, sorry. Go on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I will give one professional tip and one personal tip. My professional tip would be to and I say this to my team all the time, look at this case as if it was going to be a serious case review. Second something happens to this child, if it's not written down, it has not been done. And it's not like back in the day where they would seize your notepads, because we don't do that anymore. Just cover yourself as much as you can. And I know it's difficult with the complexities, but just try your absolute best. And what I say, I don't know if it's going to be a helpful tip, make sure you put on your case note, visit completed to whoever child, no concerns noted, full write-up to follow.
Yeah.
And then you've covered your back.
Yeah.
Or you can put a brief summary if there was a concern, full write-up to follow. So you've at least signified you've seen that child, you've seen them alone, these are the concerns that come out. And then from a personal perspective, I would be saying self-care.
Yeah.
Take regular breaks. Again, it's easier said than done. Take regular annual leave. Talk to people. Do not hold it in. If you've got to cry, listen, I've had many of my team cry. I've cried to my team, and I'm like, you guys are driving me mad. But do you know what? We're all human, and that's okay. I would just say talk, communicate, express how you're feeling. For the newly qualified, if you're anxious and if you're worried, talk. Just talk.
Wow.
That would be me.
Yeah. For me, Curtis, professionally, I would say as social workers, it's for social workers and students and new qualifieds, be transparent and open with parents. Yeah. You have to educate parents on our processes. If there's a concern that you've got, let them know. We shouldn't be setting parents up to fail, because we're living in a world where there's a bit of ignorance around anyway. So you have to educate people on the work we're doing. Be open. Yeah. I echo what Sai said in the sense of, you know, when you're doing your visit write-up, case notes and recordings are important. Communicate with the professionals, but also communicate with parents.
Yeah.
What our next steps are or what's happening. Don't leave parents in limbo. If you're going to be leaving and going to another local authority, don't leave parents and not let them know.
Yeah.
That's a big problem that we all
and that's what builds up resentment in the relationship with the next social worker.
So you need to make sure you do that, because you have to understand that we're in a profession where we're not liked already. So that's the barrier you're going to have to deal with. But be transparent and open as possible at every single stage. Communicate with your colleagues. Speak to your manager. But also, I would say don't give up on this profession. I know a lot of social workers are leaving for obvious reasons. Yeah. But I'll say to all of you, don't give up. You went into this job for a reason. It don't matter what people come and tell you, I kidnap children or this and this and that. That's the nature of the beast. So I don't that's all right. I'm cool with that. But it's about you. Don't give up. We still need social workers. Yeah. One thing, look who's striked. Look who's still here. We haven't walked out, you know, and that's saying something. And we don't walk out because we know no matter what people say, that we don't want to leave any of our children, young people, families unprotected. Yeah. So if anyone comes to anything to you about your job role, it's minor. Yeah. You matter. You're there for a reason. And
what Curtis said, sorry to interrupt, Nana, was that one story where is the success.
That's right.
Make everything worth it.
That's right. The thing to hang on to. And on a personal level, make sure, guys, you take your annual leave. Make sure you take your toil. Make sure you go on your holidays. Make sure you have an outlet. I'm in gym 5 days a week. Make sure you have that. You need that. Literally, I get up in the morning, 6 o'clock. I'm at the gym. You know, sets me up for my day.
Stop now, because you're putting some of us to shame.
No, I'm sorry. But take care of you.
It's true.
Okay. Let me drop something in there. My thing is, this is not about social work, but it is directly connected to social work, and that is, you got to believe in yourself. Some of the questions I'm seeing on here, I can hear your heart, and it's shaken because of what you're hearing, and maybe you stepped into placement, and you're like, and you're looking around, and you're hearing a lot, and you're seeing a lot, and becomes overwhelming. educator is not the most supporting, your supervisor is not the most supporting. Now, look, if you believe in yourself, like for me, for example, I had a good experience because my situation was complicated anyway. But what am I talking about? Before I started to study, I believed in myself. Before that, I didn't. And I'm saying this because when people around you aren't giving you what you need, and when people around you, like even some of the service users, are attacking you, or when you meet failure, believe in yourself. Your feelings will tell you that you might not be good enough. Your feelings will tell you that I'm no good, or how am I? Don't ask that. You will do it when you're there. When you're in a strategy meeting, a core group, when you're doing your assessment, even if you do it badly, you will do it.
Yeah.
You will come out on the other side. Just like everybody in this life.
Yeah. I do think, though, particularly for the younger ones that come into it, I can understand the apprehension.
Yeah.
Because you're also coming into yourself, not only in career, but you're coming into yourself. So having to assert yourself in a particular way. Because I remember, particularly in the very, very early stages, I literally remember this phrase so clearly. I said, I feel like all I do is fight. I fight with parents, I'm fighting with reviewing officers, I'm fighting with panel because I'm trying to get the placement cost agreed. I felt like everything was a battle and I was tired. But then once you start to understand your position and you get confidence in your own experience, that will come across also. So I think it's just having exactly what you said, just having trust and belief in yourself. And if you're working closely alongside a family, all you can do is report them facts. The other thing I just want to very quickly mention is, again, for the newly qualified or the younger ones, if you are not feeling that you're getting the support from your manager, or you haven't got the necessary rapport that you need to work effectively, do you know what? You don't have to stick with that manager, and that is okay. You can say, do you know what? There's another manager that I feel that I would work a lot better with. And I've had many people do that in my service. There's some people that have a working style that's not going to work for somebody else, but my working style might work for that person, so they could come along to my team, and that's okay. And I think we have to be able to speak up for ourselves.
Yeah. Do you know what I was going to say, to jump on the back of that, in social work, is humility. Humility in social work is very important.
Yes.
I'll say that is because as a social worker, sometimes when you're in the wrong, particularly when you're working with families, you know, actually, I didn't get this sorted for you, or this was the wrong decision. Humility is actually very, very important. And I think even when you progress up the chain, you have to be when you're working with families. Because remember, you know, we're social workers, and none of us would want social workers to be involved in our lives. So you have the narrative that family. So empathy, you know, and reflection and understanding, they're very, very good, solid key skills that you need. Yeah. But as a social worker, don't think you're going to know everything and you're going to get everything right.
You don't.
Qualifying as a social worker does not mean you are immune from mistakes. You're going to get things wrong. All of us here have got things wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to get things wrong.
Yeah.
On it. If you're working with a family and they're not happy, you know what? I didn't do my job well on this occasion, but you know what? I'm going to make sure that I do well. And how you feel about social workers, I'm going to be the one to change your view.
Yeah.
Have that. It's very, 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 very important. Do you know how many complaints I've had to shut down this week? I've had like 5 parents make complaints about their social workers.
Yeah.
I've spoken to them and they're like, you know what, Nana? You're a gentleman, you know.
But do you know what? It's about how you talk to them. And I think when you come in with your head teacher tone and your jargon and all of that, they are not going to, number one, understand it, nor appreciate it, because they're going to feel patronized. So actually, if you talk to them on the same level that they can actually understand, they're going to feel like, actually, okay, this person is someone I can actually resonate with and I can understand with. And that needs to follow through in the social workers also. If I'm going there and I'm sitting there all uptight and
badge.
And I never do that. I never go in with my badge. I show it. Well, not that I do it anymore. I always used to show it at the front door if it was the first time. This is who I am. I'm going to put my badge away. And the other thing, please, social workers, don't sit there with your notepad.
Exactly.
Please don't do it. Please. You're building up an automatic barrier.
And
Why
so-
are you laughing, Vanessa? Is this what you do?
It's true. Do you do that, Vanessa? Are you guilty?
Listen,
Fostering's a bit different, though.
yeah,
I-
no,
I- work
I'm
with-
guilty.
I-
Harry, let me answer. I'm guilty because I'm getting old. My brain can't function the way
Listen,
it
you
does.
can't be older than me. I can
But-
assure you.
You never know.
No,
I
I
sit
guarantee
on my
you.
phone.
But
I use my
listen-
phone and
No, but listen, right?
yeah.
There are some days where you know what's going to happen and you know what you're going to expect, and you don't need to have that notepad. But
Yeah.
where there's a lot of maybe factual information that I know, for example, I'm not going to be able to retain, and of course I'm going to write it down.
Yeah.
If it is with a new person I'm working with, I'll always say, I've just got my notepad with me, but you know, don't see it as anything bad. You're going to tell me a lot of information, and I need to be
Yeah,
able to record it accurately. So
yeah.
I set the tone
That's
like
right.
that, because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
right, Si, going in with
Mhm.
your notepad. Yeah, they're probably thinking, but what the hell? Like, are you not supposed to be listening to me? But you're writing down like you're a student. Like,
Yeah.
come on, no,
You're supposed to
you're not
memorize this.
students. But yeah,
You're
it's a
supposed to
lot
have
to
perfect
take in.
But it builds a barrier as well, because it's
Yes.
almost like a therapist, and
Yes.
you're having some sort of session like that. And
Yes, and it
you're not-
reduces your eye contact as well, because you're
Absolutely.
looking down
that
constantly.
natural
So
rapport is out the
that's
window.
right. So that's another tip for social work students.
Yeah.
When you're writing your notes, you're not providing that one-to-one, that eye contact.
yeah.
And that
And the
that
second you
puts-
leave the house, whether you
Mm.
drive, whether you're on the bus, write your notes then.
Exactly.
yeah,
Also, one thing I'm going to say, sorry, depending on your case, yeah, Queen's English don't work with some families.
No.
Yeah.
Either way,
Sometimes you have to talk the slang.
yeah,
listen, you have to develop yourself.
yeah.
I have a corporate social work side of me,
Same,
very street social work side of me.
It's so true.
same.
There's certain families, if they try it, I say, listen, mum, dad, sorry,
Yeah. Yep.
fix up.
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
Yep.
What am I getting referrals for? You want a CP plan? Come on.
Yeah.
You have to develop. If you have your own style of social work, even if it's not corporate and it works for you and
Yeah.
it works for the family, use it.
Can I just be clear though, Nana? Only because I've seen somebody comment say you can't though. I don't know if that's in specific.
I don't
I don't know if it's in relation to what you're saying, but what I think and what I know that you're saying is we're not talking about going there and start being like, yo, bruv, what's going on? Like,
No.
don't you?
No,
It's about
That's
just
what I mean. But
Yeah.
I mean, you got to set pace for your case. Depending,
Yes.
there's some families when I speak to them, I know, okay, cool. Nah, corporate nana in the office, it's not gonna work.
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
No.
You need the street social worker. That's
Yes.
what I say to them.
Yeah.
When we talk, they get exactly where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
The whole dynamic of the case switches. Same with police. So I'm just saying, you got to know the tone of your.
Mhm.
So Queen's English. Oh, we have a little concern about your son who's drug dealing, and you talk to the young person. Why are you going missing? No, bro. Why are you out here shotting?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My way works for me. So
Yeah.
know the tone of your case
Mhm.
and your approach to families.
Can I give another tip, which I found really, really funny, right? And I didn't do it on purpose. So again, as a newly qualified social worker, when I was a lot younger and a lot trendier, and I used to roll in my Jordans or whatever. Do you know how many times that would start a conversation with young people?
Exactly.
Oh, your picture
Yeah.
is sick. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got,
that would be the
I've
start
got-
of it.
I've got Air Force. I've got black Air Force. Now, I say
Now
that
we're managers, it's got to be toned down a little bit.
Well,
But,
listen,
you know,
that has broken. I was so shocked. I was like, you lot are always talking about my trainers. No, I'm not a trainers, man, but they're all right trainers, yeah. They I think just and also as well, I got a nice car as well. That smashes.
yes,
Yeah, it does.
that
innit?
made a difference.
You have to get a
One
Merc.
got in
You
the
have to get a
car,
Merc.
You have to
You know
get
I
what
a
I'm
was
saying?
Merc.
literally like, oh my God, is that you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw the little strip lights on the inside. I was like, babe, it's a car. It's okay.
And it changes color.
It does. You know, the other day I was in the office here. The other day I got like, you know, that big JD, the black JD jacket here with the hood in it. I remember I was in the office here. I was wearing, no, my new office, and I wore it in it the other day. And it looked like a roadman, you know. I was like, no, I'm cool. I went to go and do a visit here to go and see a young person. Yeah, because he wasn't getting with the social work. He's like, wait, you're the manager, you, bro.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
And he just offloaded. It literally works.
It does.
Works. it works, you know, it works.
And there has to be a time and place. So if I know I'm having a meeting with parents, do you know what? Then I'm going to look a little bit more corporate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if I know I'm going to go for just to see a young person along with the social worker, do you know what? Then I'm going to listen. There's been plenty of time I've come into work in hoodies and trainers and all the rest of it, because that does not define my ability as a manager.
Exactly.
Yeah. The majority of humans only care about what comes out your mouth. To be
Yeah.
honest. The image is a temporary front. They want to know, how much do you care? How much are you doing? And how are you managing me? How are you supporting me?
But I think actually this whole discussion has been really good tips for the newly qualified. I know we've kind of had more of a chat about it, but yeah, these are good little.
Yeah, it is. Again, this channel, as I'm wrapping up, this channel is about students and the newly qualified ASYE. It's come second, to be honest, but this has been a very good space. Jodie Baker, I didn't get to all your comments, but thank you for joining and leaving some really rich stuff. I want to thank you guys for joining. I mean, DM me afterwards. Got some hair pricking on me. DM me afterwards. I mean, I appreciate. Sai, you joined in like a pro.
And I'm so sorry that I just jumped in, but I just thought, you know what? Social work has been my life for such a long time. I have 2 pence to rub together about this profession. So I thought, you know what, why not? So I appreciate you allowing me to join you guys. And I think you're all amazing practitioners. I can hear the passion from you. And I think we will continue to thrive in what we do. And I think what's important is having such a supportive space, because sometimes talking to your friends who are not in the profession, they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we are family now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will thrive if we go live. I like that.
Yeah.
Vanessa, what are you saying? Just in closing.
It's nice meeting you, Sai. And I like hearing and talking to you know, managers who I can aspire to be like, and also practitioners who have more experience than me and also are still in it. But also I like the fact that I work in fostering and I bring that element to it, because there is so much stigma, and I'm sure Curtis at some point will go into that in another live. And it's also nice hearing everybody's feedback as well and their questions, because that's what Curtis is doing. This is what this live is about for the newly qualified social workers and the students that are up and coming. Yeah, thank you, Curtis. And I look forward to the next one.
Of course. Well, you guys are going to be first dibs on it, you know what I mean? Sai, you coming back?
I would love to, if I can be invited.
Oh,
for
cool.
Sure,
sure. DM me afterwards, please.
100.
We'll hook it up. Nana, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, no, Curtis, bro. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, I love doing these lives. Sai, we're definitely gonna talk, man. It's nice, you know, speaking to other managers as well. It's kind of nice, and it's nice to hear another manager who's got the kind of like similar kind of thinking and approach. You know, and Vanessa, you know what? Listen, fostering is essential. Yeah, make no mistake. No matter the jokes that we say, fostering is important for all our children and young people. But it's good to come on the live because it gives me space as well to offload, you know, but also to give, you know, students advice, you know. But I'll say to, you know, anyone who's listening, you know, you can network. You've got experience.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're all here to give our advice, but no, it's a really good space. I think these lives, you know, need to continue. And I wish that, you know, at uni, I had this. But
100.
You know, so I want us to give back to the up and coming next gen of social work students. But yeah, thank you. Curtis, you know I'm there, man. You know.
Yeah,
there, man.
Of course. And I just wanted to say a couple of things to you all as well. Guys, show your love to the guests, please. You can join Nana on the Social Work and the Mentor. He was doing some hard work at the moment. He is real active on the internet. Follow, subscribe, and make contact wherever you've got to do that. Just to let you know, I am at now 82 episodes of my podcast. There's a lot of stuff on there. Yeah. The Social Work Race podcast. I don't know if there's anything you guys are promoting, Sai, or...
Yeah, the panel. So guys, the Social Work and the Mentor, got this thing called the panel. Curtis is already on there already. Curtis is already part of that panel as well, whereby it's a panel of, you know, professionals. We talk about social work, education, different things. So it's an offset of the podcast that I do with Robert. We also do live podcasts with universities. We've had a lot of stuff coming, but yeah, Curtis is heavily involved. We've got crossovers with him coming up.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
so
down. I'm down.
yeah, you can reach out to myself and to Curtis. He's on TikTok. We're on TikTok and Spotify. You know, so yeah.
So some of us are old, and I don't even know how to use TikTok. So
I'll
Instagram only for me.
I'll DM you, man. Don't worry.
Thank you, babe.
Well, I fluked on TikTok. I've got this success, and I'm like, I don't even know how I did it. But yeah. Anyone else? Anything to promote, or you guys are just happy to just? Yeah. All right, I've got it.
Just me.
I've got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. I just want to say, this is the last thing I want to say was, I've got genuine love for you guys. You guys have brought so much richness to this. It was blowing my mind, and I am more than humbly appreciating what you've brought tonight. So yeah, I'm going to drag you back into another session. We're going to talk about something, another controversial aspect to this game.
100%, man. 100%.
I am down.
Yes. Good night, everyone. If you
Good
want
night.
help and support,
Thank
direct
you.
message anybody here. You've got their details. These lives will be saved as usual. I don't delete them, and I'll be posting some on TikTok. God bless you all.
God bless and good night.
Good night. Bedtime.
Bye-bye.
Bye.